Hello, hello. Okay, so let's just get right into the pattern. So we're going to be working with 2 worsted weight yarns, your main color and then an accent color. And we are working with a 5mm hook for the entire project. So for the ribbing, the name of the game with ribbing is going to be measurements. So get your tape measure and measure around your waist, around the navel portion of your waist. Whatever that number is you come up with, cut that number in half. And that's how many inches of ribbing you're going to need for your first half. This project will be worked in 2 halves. Here I have the first half already made. And here is the waist. This is going to be on my mannequin, so that's why it's so small. My mannequin is 24-inch waist, so stretched out. This is 12 inches, but relaxed, it's 10 inches. That's what you want to do. You want to come in about an inch to 1.5 inches to 2 inches max under your needed inches. So my mannequin is 24 inches. This is 10 inches across, but it stretches out to about 12.5. Okay? So that's what we're going to start off with is the ribbing. And to start, we're going to chain 25 if you want it to be shorter. Chain less. If you want it to be longer, chain more. There's no specific number of chains needed. I'll be back whenever I have 25. Okay, I have my 25 chains. You're going to skip, I'm working in back bump. You're going to skip the first bump, and in the second bump from your hook, go ahead and start working single crochets in every chain stitch to the end. Come back whenever you have reached the end. Okay, I've reached the end of my first row. Now we're going to chain 1, turn, and in the very first stitch, work through both loops, just a regular single crochet. Now, in every stitch until the end, work back loop only single crochet, and when you do get to the end, work the full stitch again through both loops, just like that. So, we worked our first stitch, which was a full normal single crochet. Now we will work back loop only single crochet. This is how every row will be worked. And if you happen to be the same size as my mannequin, a 24-inch waist across the navel, I'll make this really easy for you. You will work 40 rows. And if you need more, then work what you need. The majority of this, not majority, I mean this whole thing is going to be worked in with our tape measure. So we aren't going to have to worry about specific row stitch counts and all that. Okay, just coming up to the end here. Probably hear my dog in the background. Getting a big old drink of water. Okay. There we go. Last stitch. I'm going to work it as a normal single crochet through both loops. Chain 1, first stitch of this row will be through both loops, just a normal single crochet. Then back loop only for the remaining stitches until the end. Okay, so keep repeating this until you have achieved roughly the amount of inches that you measured. One more time, you will measure yourself around your waist, around the navel area. Cut that number in half. Start working your rows until you have just about reached what you need. Again, my mannequin needs 12 inches across, but this is 10 because this stretches out to beyond, just beyond 12 inches. Okay? Come back whenever you are done with your ribbing and we will move on to the body. By the way, you will do this twice because this, like I said before, this top is going to be worked in 2 halves, but it's so easy, so easy. Okay, I'll see you guys when you get done with your ribbing. Okay, now I have completed my 10 inches or 40 rows for my mannequin size. Now, if you are small, you'll want to go ahead and chain 30. If you're medium, maybe chain about 35. If you're large, about 40. But this is where you put your own flavor on it and decide how far out do you want. Let me back this out a little bit. The part that we're going to start on now is this part here that extends out. So you decide, you can hold this to your waist and decide how far out do you want this to go? How much arm coverage of this are you gonna want? So I found that, oh, let me get this, there we go, that for my mannequin, 30 was plenty far enough, and she's a size small. So that's why I'm saying maybe 35 for medium and 40 for large. Give it a try and see how you like it. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we have 30. I'm going to chain 1 extra to help create a knot. And here we're going to go ahead and cut. And then you can pull on that extra chain, and that just creates a little knot there. Now we come back to the other side, and here is our starting chain, and I worked the back bumps on the starting chain, so I have what looks like a regular single crochet. I'm going to go ahead and start there. There we go. And chain 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30, and then an extra for a turning chain, so a total of 31 on this side as well. And I'm going to be working in back bumps. And in the second back bump from the hook, go ahead and start yarn over and start working half double crochets. And it's important to keep your chain count. And remember, this is the start of your chain on this side. And don't skip this one either on this side, okay? Make sure that you've got 30 on each side. I'll be back whenever I have worked a half double crochet all the way to the other side. Probably should have mentioned, as far as your ribbing row goes, where do you work your stitches? Well, here's your last stitch on your chain, but where we slip stitched into is actually going to be your first stitch of your ribbing. And the great thing about working a single crochet, a regular single crochet on both ends, is that we're going to have a real easy time finding our stitches. Here's our first stitch right here. And then your second stitch is going to be right here. Here, all of our stitches present themselves right along the top here. Everywhere a ridge sticks out, the top of that is a stitch. Everywhere it is indented in, the top of that is also a stitch. And these are pretty easy to find stitches, okay? So I I have 40 rows of ribbing. I should have 40 half double crochets between the sections of 30, okay? I just reached my join here, and I just wanted to work this with you since I had discussed it before. So this is my very first chain stitch from whenever I joined my yarn. So that back bump there will get a half double crochet, and the stitch that we joined into right here is going to get a half double crochet. I'm going to go ahead and work that tail in with it. Now, next stitch over right here. Yeah, these stitches are really easy to find. Next stitch over is just as big as and clear as day. Right there. Next one over, right there. Okay. All right, now I will officially be back whenever I have reached the other end working half double crochets. Okay, I have finished my first row of half double crochet. I have 1 stitch left. This is where we are going to change color to the accent color if you wish to do so. So you're going to start off your half double crochet, pull through, you have 3 loops on your hook. Stop. Complete your stitch with your accent color, just like that. Drop that tail down, chain 1 and turn, and we're going to work 1 more row of half double crochet before we get into our little design. So yarn over, and in the very first stitch, start working your half double crochets. There we go. There we go. So work 1 half double crochet in each and every stitch across. I'll be back whenever I get to the other end. Okay, now we're ready to start our design. I have worked my way all the way to the end. I'm going to chain 4, turn. Now, not counting the very first stitch, because our chain 4 acts as a double crochet plus chain 1, so we're not going to work in this one. Start this one and count 3 stitches over. So 1, 2, 3. In that third stitch, work a double crochet. Now we're going to count backwards, skip this middle stitch here, and in this very first stitch, again, we're not counting this one, in this very first stitch that we skipped, we're going to work a double crochet right through the front of that stitch, just like this, where our working yarn comes across the top of this other double crochet, the first one we made, just like this. And that creates a sort of a little X or a little hourglass. Then we chain 1 and we skip 3 again. Now be mindful that this looks like an available stitch, but our first double crochet going this way is coming out of it. So we skip 1, 2, and in the third stitch, we work our double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. We work a double crochet, yarn over, skip this first stitch, and then in this next one over, work your other double crochet. Chain 1. Again, ignoring this because we have a double crochet coming out of it. We're going to skip 1, skip 2, and in the third one, work a double crochet, yarn over, skip, and in the very first stitch that we skipped, we work a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, 2, and in number 3, work a double crochet, skip, and in the very first stitch we skipped, work a double crochet. This is the repeat all the way to the end. I'll tell you how we're going to finish this up because it's going to be different. If your stitch count across is odd or even, those both end differently. Mine happens to be even. I have even 100 stitches across, but if you have, say, 113 stitches across, your row is going to end a little bit differently, okay? So meet me at the end of this row and I'll show you how both ways end. Okay, I have worked my last stitch. I chained 1. So now I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. Start my very last stitch. And without chaining 1, so this is because I have an even number of stitches. So without chaining 1, I'm just going to work a double crochet in the very last stitch. Now, if you have an odd number, then what you will do is the stitch that I've been telling you not to work into, this one here that has our double crochet coming out of it, you're going to count that one. So you'll go 1, 2, 3 and work like that, and then actually work your last your second double crochet of the X into that stitch I've been telling you not to work into. We only do that on the very end if we happen to have an odd number of stitches. And then, just like I showed you with the even number, you will not chain one, just simply work a double crochet into the last stitch that you have. And there we go. Nope. There we go. Now you will chain one and turn, and we're going to do one more row of half double crochet in our accent color. Here we go. And how we work this row, we didn't work a chain one on the very last stitch, so we're not going to work in this little gap right here. We're just going to immediately work a half double crochet into the top of every double crochet and a half double crochet into every chain one space, just like this. And that should give you the same number of stitches that you started off with. For me, that will be 100, okay? So just work half double crochet into the top of every double crochet and a half double crochet into every single chain one space. I'll meet you when we get back to the end. We will do a color change at the end. Okay, last stitch. I'm going to go ahead and work a color change. And then I'm going to give you a little bit of homework because these stitches that we're going to do next are very basic stitches. Okay, I'm going to chain one, and our first row is going to be a row of half double crochet. Okay, and then I'm going to give you some homework. It's very, very easy. So you're going to work a row of half double crochet, then a row of double crochet, another row of half double crochet on top of that, and then finally another row of double crochet. And we're going to go ahead and color change after that. So when you're done working the next 4 rows, I'll be back. So our first row is half double, then double, half double, then double. That's a total of 4 rows of our main color, okay? And I will be back whenever it is time for color change again. But I'm going to be back whenever it's time to start working the double crochet row, because I want to show you what I've been doing in instead of working a chain as my first double crochet, I've been working stacked single crochets. If you're not familiar with that, come on back as soon as you're done with your first half double crochet row of your homework, and I'll show you how to do that. If you are, then just work on ahead, and I will see you whenever we're ready for color change. Okay, I worked my last half double crochet. Now I'm going to show you how to work a stacked single crochet instead of a chain 3, which gives it a nice, straight, clean edge. So we don't chain one, we immediately turn our work. And in the very first stitch, right here, go in the stitch and pull up a loop and work a single crochet. Now you will see that we have 2 bars here on the side. We're going to put our hook into this first one right here. Just like that. Pull up a loop and work a single crochet, and that's it. And now you just work double crochets all along the way. And here is our result. This top stitch is twisted a little bit and it looks like it's kind of leaning in this way. When we come back around and we're working this way, we pick up this stitch to finish off our row. This is what it does. And look how clean and straight that edge is now. Okay? So like I said before, we just worked our row of half double crochet, then we work a row of double, then half double, then one more of double. Come back when you're ready to color change after 4 total rows of our main color. Okay, so here we are to the end of this section where we have worked 1 row of half double crochet, a row of double crochet, row of half double crochet, and finally our row of double crochet. Let's go ahead and change colors. Yarn over, enter into your last stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and stop. Grab your accent color. I like a little bit more tail. There we go. And we complete that double crochet with our accent color. Now we will chain 1 and work 1 row of half double crochet in the accent color. Then we will change again. There we go. And when we change again, I'll have a little bit more homework for you. It's going to be pretty similar to what we just worked, but with a little bit of a difference. There. Okay, I'll be back whenever I'm done with this row. Okay, just finished this row, and I probably shouldn't have because I need to switch out colors. Oops. There we go. Time for a color switch. And a little bit of homework, but it's very, very easy again. We like it when things are easy. Okay, we're going to start off with a row of half double crochet. All of this will be worked in the main color. So, our homework this time, we're going to have 1 extra row so that we have a little bit more separation between these two. So, we're going to start off with a half double crochet, then a double, half double, double, and finally a half double, okay? So that's going to be a total of 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 3 rows of half double crochet separated by 2 rows of double crochet. So come back whenever you're ready to color change again, and we will carry on. Just wanted to jump on here real quick because, you know, I'm terrible with details sometimes. I wanted to say, at this point here, with the last bit of homework I just gave you, if you need your top to be longer going this way, this is the point where you do it. You just keep alternating half double and double until you feel like you have plenty of length going this way. Because, you know, we're not all built the same. My mannequin is, I think she's like a small B cup. Some of us are very blessed in that area, and also for medium and large tops, you may want to add an extra row of double, or for large, you may want to go ahead and do 1 more row of double and 1 more row of half double, just to give yourself more length. I feel terrible not telling you this before, so I'm jumping on here real quick before I finish this section and we move on. Okay, so now that I have completed all of my rows, go ahead and color change again for just 1 row. So it's going to be a row of half double crochet. Then we will color change again with another little chunk of homework. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and finish this row of half double crochet in our accent color, and then come on back and let's see what our homework is going to be. Okay, here we are at the end of our accent color row. Just go ahead and set up for a color change, and then we will discuss a little bit on our homework, or a lot of it. And it's going to be, again, super easy. There we go. Our first row will be half double crochets in our main color. And let me show you what follows. Okay, so we're going to do our first row of half double crochet, then a row of double, then half double, then finally double, okay? So that's half double, double, half double, double, just 4 rows. Come back whenever we're ready to do the last bit of our little decorative section up here, and then our last row of half double crochet. So easy. Told you it was easy. Okay, I have finished the last section here of our main color, which is the half double crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, double crochet row. I just have one more stitch to work. Then we're going to go ahead and change colors. And we're going to start, we're going to start on this again. Almost done. Almost done. Change that. And again, because this is so easy, I completely feel confident giving you guys homework on this. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the half double crochet row. We're just mirroring exactly what we did down below. So if you want to, you can rewind the video and go back to that, but I'm just going to quickly walk you through it really quick. So I'll be back whenever I am at the end of this row with our accent color half double crochet. Okay, now I've reached the end of this row. We're going to chain 4, turn, and not counting this first stitch because our chain 4 is acting as a double crochet plus chain 1. So we're going to skip 1, 2, and in number 3, work a double crochet. Then we go backwards, we skip this next one over, and in the very first stitch that we skipped, we work a double crochet and chain 1. We don't work in this one because this is already worked into. So we're going to skip these 2, 1, 2, and in 3, we work our double crochet. Going backwards now, we skip this one, and in the next one after that, we work a double crochet. Chain 1. Repeat that all the way to the end. And whenever you get to the end and you work your last stitch, your last double crochet, chain 1, turn, and work one more row of half double crochet to complete this section. Then we're going to change color one final time. Okay? Okay, just finishing up the last row of our accent area here. Get my last stitch in, and then we're going to do one final color change. And with this, you're just going to work 2 last rows of half double crochet in your main color, and that's it. Then you can cut, weave in all of your ends, make a second side, and then we will begin assembling. There we go. We're just going to make 2 rows of half double crochet. Here is, I don't have my ends weaved in on this side, but I went ahead and weaved them all in on this side. But this is how your final piece should look, your 2 rows of half double crochet. This is the whole piece. And again, this is the portion here between the 2 accents, single row of half double crochet. This is the portion where you want to make your piece longer. That way this top section and the bottom section are, I don't know, they make sense. Okay, so come back whenever you are done with your 2 rows of half double crochet. You've weaved in all of your ends and you're ready to assemble. Okay, now we're ready to assemble. I know I've kind of got it going off this way a little bit. I only have so much room over here on this side. That's my couch, and this is what's holding our camera up here. So you just want to, it really is no right side or wrong side to each of these panels. So you just stack them on top of each other. I already sewed in or sewed together this side right here. And so that's what you're going to do. You're just going to start at the bottom and I just did a single crochet, and I did it stitch for stitch. I know if you're familiar with the channel, you've seen me do front loop, back loop on these. I just did matching stitch for stitch, the whole stitch, both loops, 1 single crochet, and you will work that all the way to the end. And then at the top is where you're going to add your own flavor to it and decide how wide do you want this to be? Do you want it to come off shoulder, both shoulders? Do you want it to be wide enough that you can slip it off of one shoulder? Do you want it to be completely over the shoulders and like a boat neck style? That's going to be entirely up to you. Best way I can say is go ahead, or to figure that out, best way to do that is go ahead and sew your bottom completely together and put the piece on. And hold it up and see, look in the mirror and see how you like it, you know, and all that. And so that's the best way I can say with these things right here. It's not really one size fits all. It's not one style fits all. We all have our own flavor of things. So as far as the shoulders go, that's what I would recommend, just to gauge how off shoulder, if at all, do you want it. And that's basically the assembly of it. Then you will turn it inside out and enjoy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish sewing this up. Then we'll go and see how it looks on the mannequin.